Okay, so today I am chatting to the beautiful Amber, who I had the pleasure of featuring in that Buzzfeed list I put together of amazing Black women who are helping others relocate overseas. Amber, that picture of you and your husband it's on fire. I think that's what drove all the traffic.
Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, thank you. No, that was our first year here. We went to Carnival. So we were at an event from Top Shelf event called Teas. So it was like a secret beach party. So it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
So that beach is near a bar or a club?
It's like we actually access the beach by boat. It's about a 40-minute drive. It's like a bumpy ride up. So, but it's a lot faster by boat. So we came in, they had this like big sign that said Teas, they had the DJ, the bar. So it was like, you're like, oh, beach party.
Oh my God. I wish I hadn't asked.
Well, Carnival's supposed to be coming out this year in Antigua. So
Really?
yes, they're saying it is the end of July and the first week of August.
Wow. Oh, my fingers are crossed. Everyone needs Carnival so much this year. If it doesn't happen. Oh, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So with Antigua and Barbuda, a lot of people, it's not immediately going to be the first destination that people think of when they think of the Caribbean. And I say Caribbean instead of Caribbean, but let's be flexible with.
I love both.
Yeah, let's go back and forth. So can you tell us about the island and what's the draw? Like, how do you pitch it? I mean, not that it needs pitching because it's beautiful, but how do you sell it to people?
That's a great idea because you're right. There are so many islands that already have a name behind them. You know, Trinidad, Turks and Caicos, Barbados. So I am coming with my tiny island, like, hey guys, we're here, but we have a lot to offer. Of course, you know, we have that picturesque vibe, and we're only 4.5 hours from New York, so it's the same time zone. The thing that I really love about the island, though, is one of the things that they're known for. There are 365 beaches because we have 2 islands. One of the islands on Barbuda, they have a small stretch of sand that has a pink sand beach. The sand and every beach is different, so it's like you're not going to see the same one. So I just tell people, go explore, go to as many beaches as you can, go to 3 beaches a day and just see the difference. Like you can get like 15-20 beaches knocked out in a weekend.
Wow.
And honestly, to me, it's so beautiful. Like I just like stop and I'm like, I literally like, can you stop nature? I literally do. It just I sit and I'm like, wow, man, like just the trees and the fruit trees just grow. Like I've never seen mango trees so big, just like mangoes on the floor. I'm like, it's just like, wow. Like I just feel like it's so lush. Like I feel like if you just need anything, it's outside. I was just over at like one of the friends, the homies' houses, and her neighbor is just such like full of knowledge. Like I'll show you some of the stuff that she gave. What is it? He just gave me this root, and I forgot what it's called because I want to say like turtleberry or turtleberry, but I think I'm wrong. I have to look at the video. But he's like, you put it in like a wine that you make, and it's good for. They said it's good for men.
I figured that was going to be the answer.
And he was just pulling stuff out of his yard, and he was like, here's the paracetamol. Like if you ever, you're literally growing in the yard, and here's the eucalyptus, and where's the eucalyptus? And I have the Christmas bush right there. And he was just picking stuff, and he's like, oh yeah, if you're sick, you need this here. If you need this here, and like, here's the bush tea and the lemongrass. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm in heaven. Like I can just go outside and feed myself, my soul, and get those nutrients. And I feel like I just can't. Anyways, it's so many things. Like the people are really great also. And it's in the middle of the Caribbean. So it's like really easy to island hop to the next one. I can see Montserrat with their volcano. I can see St. Kitts and Nevis. There's Guadalupe also, Dominica. So we're really close, and you can just, just go down. But it's nice. Now, Antigua is not a party island. So if that's the kind of vibe you're going for, I will tell people from the jump, this is not it. We do have a fat season, pre-COVID and post-COVID, hopefully. But it's a vibe place. And I really think that experiences are things that are untouched. And I think that's what's going to really bring people. And with the Carnival Boutique, that's what people ask. Like, I want to meet the locals. Like, how do they live? What do they do? Like, I want to see the fruits and like eating like soursop. And I showed an influencer and I gave her her first mango. She's never had a fresh mango before.
Are you serious? Where did she come from?
She's from DC. Yep. So I went and we took her to the road, like all in Jennings, and I took her down and got some fruits from the fruit ladies. And we got dragon fruit, passion fruit, star fruit, mango, soursop, sugar apple. I got all of it. Antigua black pineapple, which is the sweetest pineapple in the world. I got it all. We made a nice fruit spread. She fell in love. So that's what I want to like show people. Like, I have a dragon fruit cactus in my backyard, like right there. I didn't even know they grew out of cactus, y'all. So like, it blew my mind. We're growing a pineapple right now, which you just cut the top off. But these are things that in America you can't really do because the seeds are like, you can't grow seeds from the grocery store. You would have to go to like a farmer's market. So that's everywhere. So I don't know. I can't, that's a lot.
It sounds like it's just heaven, basically. And I think that's the thing, like so you're no stranger to living abroad. And the way that the fact that was it Qatar that you lived in before?
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just about not being in America. It's not just about not being overseas. It sounds like it's about being somewhere that's like nourishing and has like a vibe. Like, how would you like summarize it?
You have to match your vibe, honestly. Like, I really enjoy Qatar because the industry, like, the way I was able to have my journey there is I wasn't eligible for a residency, in essence. I wasn't able to get it. So I'm now living on my tourist visa and I can't get a job because I don't have residency. So, but they invest heavily in Americans, especially starting businesses there, because they're going to be launching the World Cup in 2022. So they are all the tech, sports tech, like if you have any sports tech, go to Qatar. They are throwing money at it. Oh, they were. I had to check on because of COVID. Things have changed, which is for the better. Because anyways, side note. But it was where I had a side hustle in college. I used to do sew-ins, and I put into the Brothers and Sisters of Qatar, a Black Facebook group, that, hey, if anyone wants to sew in, like, I'll just do it for, the same price I did in college, just to kind of get in. And that industry, health and beauty, is so big there. I had no idea. So I was able to like do what I naturally have a skill at. And at the same time, I'm looking and seeing like, what does this country have? What does it need? What can I offer it? And my services with what their needs were fit very well. So it allowed me to meet a whole bunch of different photographers, videographers. I ended up modeling. I got like a 6-page spread in Grazia magazine just from that. Like, and I don't model in the US at all, y'all. Like, no. But out there, I was like, why not? So I think it's important, like when you go to these new countries, do what you can to like integrate yourself into the culture, because you're going to learn so much about yourself and you're going to pick up so many great things that now you're going to add into your own life. And then everybody wins because it's like an even exchange. So you get, you give. Like, the country's going to give so much to you, especially if you're leaving like America or the UK. So it's only natural that you're going to want to like give something back to it. So just listen and see what they need, because not like every country. When I was in the US, I thought that what was here was everywhere. And when I lived in Qatar, and I realized I ended up starting a beauty app that's very similar to something that they have in America and the UK, where it's like Uber, but for hairdressers and makeup artists. They didn't have that there. Like, it was literally did not exist, but this is the world's richest country. So why would they not have that there?
Yeah.
So I didn't come up with anything new. There's nothing new under the sun. I added my little element to it, my training element to it, but I brought in something that was already existing. So there are things that one country may have that another one doesn't, and it would benefit that other country very well. So, and now you have an opportunity because you live there. So now you get to see the best of both worlds and figure out, how do I merge it and make something really good? So
Yeah.
it's very possible, very, very possible.
No, definitely. I think thinking entrepreneurially is so important, especially in these times as well. The idea that you're going to move and like get a job, that chance of that might be quite slim. But if you're prepared to think about outside the box or to adapt to what you already know, like I think there's so much opportunity. One of the things I'm curious about is that in terms of choosing where to move to, as a couple, how did you and your husband negotiate that? Were you both on the same page, like, yep, it's Antigua and it's just a done deal, or did it take a bit of like compromise to come to that decision?
Well, after we decided we were leaving Qatar, we had already decided a couple years, like when we had started this expat journey, that I was going to be getting my Antigua passport.
Mhm.
So one of my uncles had said, come to Antigua first, and stay there before you make that decision if you want to move
Okay.
for real. So we really came as a test run. We were going to stay, through the process of me getting my passport and then figure out where we're going to go next if we didn't like it. And we're still here.
How many years later? 2 years later? 3 years later?
No, COVID year is the one that's in between because we did get stuck in the US.
Okay.
But as soon as I had the chance to get back, I was here in August.
Wow.
Literally, as soon as I could.
And so when you came back, what was the plan? What were you both planning to do?
So I was working with and still I'm working with a travel company, travel concierge. And so I've been able to merge my knowledge of just doing everything here. I had almost started a travel company here. And when I met them, I was like, you know what, we would do better if we were partners and we worked together. So I'm creating their business system for their vacations, creating their scripts, creating their packages, creating all of that for them. So I was able to use my skill set and partner with a local company. And then I also started the course. So I have the online course, 30-Day Black Sit, where I train Black women how to move overseas. So not only do I prepare them the beginning side, like those first 30 days before the move, so helping you set up everything at the house, getting you the documents you need, finding you a place to live overseas as well. I train you on how to find places to live. I don't just do the work. So, and then the second half is while you're actually there, you have access to me your first month. So as things are happening, I can call you, I can text you, you can send me your location. So I have full, contact with you and help you go through that transition, because it is a transition. You're leaving one thing that is probably very traumatic and coming into a whole completely different environment. So people, they feel that they need to make this move, but they just like, oh, I don't know where I want to go, or I don't want to go somewhere by myself. I created the Lit House, or the local and trading house here in Antigua.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you can come. I'm in the Lit House now. It's 10 one-bedroom apartments, so you still have your own space, but we are in the same vicinity, and it's pretty much just us. We already have one Lit Houser who's going to be staying here for a month, possibly 2. It's month to month, and you can also get it, for a 6-month or a year lease, whatever you want. As Americans, we can stay in a foreign country for up to 90 days. And in Antigua, we can stay here for 90 days without having to leave. So if you want to just rent 3 months, from February, March, April, see out, the first, 90 days of Biden's presidency from overseas, or just not want to be in the cold, because I don't do the cold, and February is winter. So come through, I'm here, you have direct access to me. It's all inclusive. So you only pay one bill for your house, your rent, your electricity, your water, your internet, and your car and your cell phone. So all you pay for is your food, your gas, and whatever you want to do for fun. And then whatever else in the US you have left over. But we work on the budget and all of that, and cutting your expenses and stuff.
Yeah, I love it. And have you got the private chef as yet? I was like, I'm going to abandon Grenada for Antigua because of the chef.
Once I get 4 people, it's economical to have a private chef. Absolutely. Because at that point, we're spending so much money going out to eat, when I can have someone come in and make us those same meals, at least 2 meals, and like 1 meal. I think my preference is breakfast and dinner will be made by the chef. and then lunch, have a chance to explore the island and go get some eat local. So most of the local places close around 2-3 o'clock anyway, so you really can't get it from them. And then if you want to have dinner, you can just go out, have dinner as well. But you know that you're getting breakfast and dinner every day. So once I get 4, that I can literally, it makes sense money wise.
Okay. I'm just gonna recompose myself because of the deep, deep jealousy. It's such a great idea. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think people who haven't lived overseas before, to have that sort of framework to test it out without feeling overwhelmed, without being like, oh, how do I pay a light bill? How do I, it's perfect.
It's a lot. And that's why I'm like, no, I won't let y'all do this. I don't mind sugarcoating it initially and getting all of the stuff done. But that month that you're here, I'm with you. I'm teaching you how to drive on the left. I'm taking you to the restaurants that people kind of maybe have a bad attitude. So I can show you how to react to those situations. Because like for me, I still have some traumas and some triggers that I'm like, girl, you are not in America. Calm down.
It takes a while though to get that.
Yeah. It takes a while to realize, like, it took me a solid year of living in Antigua to literally not have my heart palpitate when a police officer drove behind me.
Oh.
A whole year. And like, even with people, like different situations, people are very chatty here, but to me, I'm like, why are you in my business? So I'm like, you should ask me questions. It's like, girl, calm down. This is just how people are. It's not personal.
Why are they saying hello? Like, you don't know me.
Exactly. And I'm like, why are you trying to talk about business? I literally have said that. I'm like, Amber, I'm like, my bad, y'all. Sorry. I'm still coming. I'm coming through some things. Like, I apologize. This is normal. It was a trigger. Like, I'm going to let you know, like, this is not it. But that triggered me to some stuff that I know I'm no longer having to deal with.
Yeah.
So, sincerest apologies, working through that. And yes. But yeah, it takes a little bit of time. So just having someone there who's experienced it, it just helps a lot, because now you don't have to go through those like pains when you're in that situation. You can learn from it and then learn the tools on how to react. And then when you're in that situation, then you'll react the way you know that you want to react. Because I don't want to be all angry and upset at people. I'm in paradise. Like, right. What's the problem? So I do feel bad afterwards, because it's like, oh man, Amber, chill. Like, chill, girl. But it's all growth and a learning process. And yeah, just like being able to just like look at the water, go to the water, be at the beach. It's all very cleansing. So I feel like, and then being in the sun, just having like the sun activate the melanin, it helps you think clear.
No, for sure. It's funny. It reminds me of this time when we were living in Grenada and we got broken into. They broke into our house while we were sleeping. I was actually pregnant at the time, but they did such a good job that I woke up and the house looked exactly the same. Just we couldn't find our laptops or cameras. And then we realized that we'd been burgled. And my partner went to the police station to report it all. And he dropped me and my son off at the beach. And I was like, I'm at the beach. I'm still alive. The sun's shining. And it just, if I was in London, I'd be like, completely mad. But
right.
it just puts stuff in perspective, like as long as you have your health, your well-being. I mean, laptops are very important, especially as a freelancer, but it's just, it puts things in perspective.
Exactly. It really does. It really does. And no, and I do like, I was like, oh my gosh, that's terrifying. And so that's one thing I like to tell people, like, and Antigua will say this time and time again, it is a very safe island as well. I feel, especially Qatar and Antigua, I feel like I went to like 2 of the safest islands and places to live. I actually walked into somebody's house in Qatar because the door was not only unlocked, but open, like ajar, when I was going on a modeling shoot. So, and I sat in the house for 10 minutes because I thought it was the house I was supposed to be at. That's where the location had pinged me. I used the restroom in their house. And I was just sitting down waiting, and the lady calls me. She's like, hey, where are you at? I was like, oh, I'm here. She's like, no, you're not. I was like, yes, I am. I'm sitting down in the office. She's like, that is not my house. And I was like, holy, like, in America,
you could have been
what
dead.
would have happened?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Walked out of there like nothing. The door, they feel so safe that they didn't even have to feel the need to close their door. Like, that it's a different mindset when you don't have to think about that. There's so many people who live in Qatar who are like from New York, and he's like, yo, I've gotten so many laptops stolen because I just left it in my car and didn't lock the car door, because I'm not used to doing it over here. So we don't have to worry about that over here.
Right.
So it's just, it's different. It's weird, it's different. You're just like, dang, man, like, I didn't realize that this isn't not how everybody lives.
Yeah, no, and to be fair, Grenada is safe. I think I just kind of had bad luck, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it happens. It happens everywhere. Exactly. But like you said, like, you don't, it's different when you don't feel like, it's like, oh, well, I have the beach. And it's just like, it's not, when you're in that different mindset, it's like, oh, another one will come.
Right.
You know, it's just a laptop.
On life. Yeah.
Yep.
So aside from the bad service, do you say, but I think you did say bad service, people saying hello, and what are the biggest adjustments do you think people from a big city might have to make to life in Antigua?
It depends on what your joys are, like your hobbies are. So I would say do research, and this is in any country that you go to. If there's something that you know brings you the utmost joy that you do every weekend, you want to make sure that they have it in that place. For me, I really enjoy my work. So as long as I have a solid Wi-Fi connection, I'm good. My husband, he in the US, he's a firearms and safety instructor. So until he gets his residency, he can't own a gun. So that has lit a fire under us for me to get his residency and his passport, because I know that that's what makes him really happy. So just, if there's something that, if you need, actually, if you need the brunch scene, you can come here because all the restaurants are open and the season just started. So if you are that social butterfly, I would recommend coming here because everything is pretty much shut down. Indoor dining is closed. And it's getting up cold, so do you really want to sit outside in the cold while you eat your meal? Right. You can come down here and still go to brunch and still, go out to eat with your friends, still have house parties. It's nothing huge, but you can keep it to the people that, are in your crew, which it's good. I love that now. But it's really just, sometimes I will say this, I have run out of electricity. So that is something that is a shocker. And until I learned about the generator and how fantastic it is, now I don't have to worry about that anymore. So stay flexible because people have lived here, so they know ways to live and to make it around, to live on a certain way. So every house that I've lived in 5 different places in Antigua. The 6th one was the one that had the generator the very first time. And I was like, oh, I'm never not having a generator again. And now when I go and look for places, I make sure for the guests, I make sure, does it have a generator? Because if they're working from home, I know that they need that. I won't even recommend a place that doesn't have it either. So that is something to get used to. And I have run out of water as well. So you'll learn about government water versus it is, and it happened to us. What you learn, like I said, you learn. So when you drink the bottles of water, the gallons, you fill it up with water and you just store it and you leave it there. Because when that happens, now you have water to at least flush your toilet and wash your hands. If you don't shower, go to the beach. No worries, but you have enough to at least use the restroom and wash your hands, maybe like rinse dishes off, stuff like that. But yeah, once it happens to you, then and you make adjustments. You don't just be like, oh man, and then keep going on, and then it happens again, and you're just like keep getting mad and mad. It's like, yo, just fill some water. Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about it. So try to solve the problems because there is a solution to every problem. So but yeah, I would say that would be it. Like, if there's something that you really enjoy doing, they don't have it here. Like if you really like skydiving, they don't have that here. So I'm like, don't come to Antigua. You have to skydive. Like you won't. And if that's what you do every weekend, or if you and they don't have it, then you're gonna be upset because you don't have that. So that's all I say, just do research on what that thing is.
Perfect. Amber, it's been so amazing talking to you. I'm definitely going to include links to your forthcoming session for women. When do you stop taking applications?
So I only host 5 families every 2 months because I give everyone the full 60 days. So 30 days before, 30 days after. Our first class was December 1st, and we actually have our first family moved to Antigua last weekend. I have 2 of the other students have set their move date, and they'll be moving the first week of February, both to Mexico. The fourth one, she, as soon as her job gives her the okay to work from home, she'll be moving to Jamaica.
Oh, wow.
So it should be within the next 2 weeks. And my last family is waiting until spring break. So 5 out of 5 have set their move dates, and it's now just a couple more weeks until they go. So our next class is open February 1st. For only 5 families, like I said, 5, that is it. I want to make sure that I can really focus and dedicate that time to you, because there are times when we have full day sessions together. The sisters from the UK who moved down here to Antigua, they decided on January the 4th, Monday the 4th, that they were moving, and they moved on Saturday. So we did everything in 5 days. It was intense, but we did it, and they're here, and we started a business. They actually were able to get their first celebrity client already.
Amazing.
So things are moving very fast. They're also doing the business course with me, where I'm helping them I'm helping them adjust their current business overseas and make those tweaks into it.
Yeah. And I think the speed with which they move just speaks to the security that working with someone like you can bring, because all of those fears, all of those things like, how do I do it? When you have someone who's done it before and who's actually there, it just streamlines it so much.
Exactly. When they left, they came and stayed at the Lit House. So this is the pathway. Like, come here, you don't have to worry about it, and then we'll find another place for you to go that's a little bit more permanent. But you don't have to worry about finding a place. It's already here set up.
You're like a modern day Harriet Tubman. I love it.
It's like a little, that's what I was talking to my husband. I was like, it's like Harriet Tubman meets like Marcus Garvey.
With a lot more glamour.
It's just like, I'm Underground Railroad out of America. That's how it's like. So funny. But yeah, just really letting Black people know that it is possible. It does not have to be difficult. You can have a plan in place. You don't need to have $50,000 saved up in the bank and all of this. Having that support system, knowing where to go, and being flexible, having fun. Once you make that decision, God, the universe, whomever you pray to, you will literally see those doors open. Like with my students, they were afraid that their jobs wouldn't allow them to work from home. And all of them have said yes so far without even batting an eye. So it's like the thing that you think they won't allow to happen, just do a little research. And one of them didn't even have to ask. She just found in the company policy. And she was like, I didn't even know that was there. I was like, of course, because you never had to look for it before. So she was like, well, she booked her ticket the next week, because that was the one reason why she didn't book her ticket. And it just took me telling her, go check. And she did it. So you'd be surprised, like the things that you think won't allow you to go is literally not even a thing. It's like, just do this and it's done. And working with me, people say this all the time. It's like, it's so easy. And I'm like, I don't know why. It's just me working in the environments that I've worked in sports, nonprofits. So I just have to always be thinking on my feet, because when you're working with clients and when you're working in a fast-paced environment, you just have to be swift. So there's things that you've been toiling on for months, and you just ask me and I'll tell you, just do this. And they're like, Amber, I have been thinking about this for 6 months, and I have a conversation with you and you just like throw your arms in the air and like, it's so easy. I was like, well, yeah, so what? But yeah, like I just love helping people and like giving them that confidence, because it is definitely possible. I am the world's most hippy-dippy person for my personal life, but I'm extremely structured and organized for everybody else. So I have that balance of where I'm just like, I'm just gonna leave and just leave. So you don't even have to do that. That's my craziness. You have a structure behind it, so you can leave and have everything set in place. Like I've even built like a PowerPoint presentation from one of my students for her parents.
Oh, wow.
They wanted that, and I was like, it's easy. But if that's what they want, let's make it. Like, we got all the information. I was like, get them involved, like send them the house, have them go look for places for you to live too. Like they just want to be a part of the process. That's it.
There's a lot attention to detail. There's little touches, I think. Yeah, that's amazing. And I think that's the thing. Once you have experience to share it with others so that they can feel empowered, I think it's really important. So I love, love, love what you're doing. And yeah, I might just abandon my kids and come live with you in Antigua.
Well, come to everyone's virtual school right now. So
It's true, it's true. Yeah, I'm sure our paths will cross for sure. But yeah, no, I just highly appreciate you, one, for what you're doing, two, for taking the time to speak to me. I'll definitely put all of your details in the show notes, and yeah, highly recommend people getting in touch. Yeah, it's been great. Let's do it again sometime.